You.
All right, we're on the record in the People's State of Michigan versus Beth Rosalie Seagreen, file 210444 SD. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
Matea Deuce on behalf of the people.
James Gust on behalf of Ms. Seagreen.
All right, today's time and date set for a settlement conference. We met briefly prior to being on the record. I had indicated that the initial report from pretrial services was that the defendant was compliant, that they had recommended 14 sessions, and that the probation officer had recommended sentencing from the bench in the amount of 18 months of probation. And I indicated I would follow. There's no initial upfront jail, just credit for the 2 days that she's already served. I'd relayed that to the parties, and let's do so. Based upon that, is there an offer in the file for Mr. Gust's client to consider?
Your Honor, the offer would be for her to plead guilty to an OWI first offense. We would dismiss the high BAC.
All right, Mr. Gust, is your client
We'll
willing to
accept that, Your Honor.
All right, if we could swing it around to your client then. Good morning, Ms. Seagreen.
Good morning.
You were able to hear the offer and all of the information that I was providing to your attorney and the prosecutor this morning.
Yes.
Your attorney is recommending that you enter a guilty plea to the reduced charge of operating while intoxicated and dismissing the original charge. Well, there's two charges, but the high BAC. Are you planning on following your attorney's advice?
Yes.
All right, if you would please raise your right hand where I can see it. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down now. Has anyone promised you anything more than what we've talked about on the record or threatened you in any way to get you to plead to this charge when you really do not want to?
No.
Are you right now under the influence of any medicine, drugs, or alcohol that's confusing you?
No, sir.
I'm going to share on a computer screen a copy of an advice of rights form that we have in our file. That form should be on your computer screen about right now. Do you see the
Yes.
form?
Yes.
At the bottom of the form on the lower right-hand corner is a signature. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Did you read and understand this form prior to signing it?
Yes.
Do you realize you're waiving all of the rights on this form if you enter this plea?
Yes.
Do you waive those rights specifically?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me pull up the complaint then and show you where I'm getting the information that I have here. All right. How do you plead to count 2, operating while intoxicated? Do you plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute?
Guilty.
On or about April 2nd of this year, were you driving on Rockwell Drive in the city and county of Midland?
Yes.
Prior to driving that day, had you consumed some alcoholic beverages?
Yes.
Ms. Dusso, do we have the blood test results back?
Yes, Your Honor. Blood draw was a 0.224.
May I use that as part of my analysis?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. You agree, Mr. Gust?
Yes, Your Honor.
If have I complied then, Mr. Gust, with the court rule and had an adequate factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Agree, Ms. Dusso?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe it is as well. I find that the plea has been made knowingly, understandingly, voluntarily, and accurately. Will enter in the records of the court as operating while intoxicated, which is count 2. Count 1, the high BAC will be dismissed. Ms. Dusso, I do see a request for the $20 blood draw fee. Is there any other restitution I need to take into consideration?
No, Your Honor. That's it.
All right. Mr. Gust, anything you wish to say on your client's behalf before I sentence her?
Just ask you to follow the recommendation from probation department, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Dusso, any comment on the recommendations?
No, Your Honor. I think the recommendations are appropriate.
Okay. Ms. Seagreen, is there anything you wish to say on your own behalf before I sentence you?
No, sir.
I think that the recommendations are sound based upon the plea and based upon the defendant's prior criminal history and her compliance with pretrial services. Therefore, I'm going to sentence you to $75 crime victim rights fee, $50 state assessment fee, $300 in fines, $475 in court costs, $20 or the blood draw fee for reimbursement. You're going to be placed on 18 months of reporting probation. You would be eligible for early discharge after 9 months, which would be April 6th, 2022, pursuant to the new statute. But you would have to, that is provided that all terms are complete and there have been no violations 3 months prior to the discharge. You shall attend and complete any counseling program to which your probation agent refers you to, pay the fees and provide proof. You shall attend and complete an impact weekend, complete any recommended follow-up, provide proof and pay the fees. You shall not use, possess alcoholic beverages, illegal drugs, mind-altering substances, recreational marijuana, or any derivative of marijuana for recreational purposes, including CBD or THC-infused products. You shall not enter any bars or places where the primary purpose is to serve alcohol. You shall not enter any place where recreational marijuana is dispensed, grown, manufactured, or used. Shall submit to observed alcohol drug testing, abnormal or adulterated tests as directed by probation and pay the fees, and shall serve 93 days in jail with credit for 2 days served. The balance will be suspended if you comply with all the terms. You have 21 days to appeal this sentence, 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney. Otherwise, the probation staff will be in touch with you and you can make your payment plans with them. Anything further, Mr. Gust?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Duso?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be adjourned on this case. Thank you. Good luck to you, Ms. Seagreen. All right, calling now the cases of People's State of Michigan versus Keith Daniel Shannon, file 21-0561 ST and 20-1395 ST. Counsel, identify yourselves for the record.
Thank you, Patrick Swinsky for the people.
Daniel Tuckering, on behalf of Keith Shannon.
All right, today's time and date set for a pretrial and a settlement conference for these cases. Mr. Duke, has there been an agreement that's been reached?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding for in exchange for a guilty plea, we can say 20-1395, the October 30th, 2020 incident date, the May 1st, 2021 driving unsuspended, and 21-0561 would be dismissed.
All right, Mr. Swinsky, is that the offer?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Is there any restitution that's owed?
Let me double check. I don't believe so. Not in that matter. No, there's no restitution.
All right. Mr. Duke, may I address your client regarding the offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Shannon, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Carpenter.
Your attorney is recommending that you plead guilty to one of these charges and have the other charge dismissed. Are you planning on following your attorney's advice?
I plan on following the advice of my attorney, just as long as there's an opportunity where there's some very serious things that can be considered on behalf of the sentencing. Yeah.
Well, I'm not bound by any sentencing. I can listen to allocution and your comments, but I just want to make sure, has there been any, if you wish to enter this plea, is that true?
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand where I can see it. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down now. Has anyone promised you anything more than what we've talked about on the record or threatened you in any way to get you to plead to this charge when you really do not want to?
Just that my attorney said that he would be sure of the prosecutor and that you would know the circumstances, which I shared with him already.
Okay.
And basically that, and that sorry.
Any other threats or promises?
No.
Are you under the influence of any medicine, drugs, or alcohol that's confusing you?
No.
If you enter this plea, you'll be waiving the right to a trial by jury or judge, the right to represent yourself or hire your own attorney, the right to remain silent, not ever silence used against you, the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and the right to confront your accusers, call witnesses, and testify. Do you understand each of these rights?
Yes.
do you waive these rights to enter this plea?
I just want to be clear, both of these charges were, one was being dropped, both of them are 93-day misdemeanors.
That's correct.
Judge, I want this to be done and over with. I got to be honest with you, because it's caused a lot of stress in my life, added stress with everything else that's going on.
Can't cause any more stress than being on circuit court probation for substance abuse in 2019 or any of the other 14 crimes that you've committed over the time. It's got to be about the same as those.
Well, no, it's a lot different. You know, in a lot of the situations where I've committed felonies and I've done some dumb crap, I've been pretty straightforward and just wanted to get it done and over with and pled guilty. In this situation, it's a lot different because of some medical needs, and my mental health has been compromised in a big way, and I just don't. I need a break.
You need to talk with your lawyer to make the decision or not? Or are you planning on, we're just about at taking the plea, so I'm just trying to figure out what you're planning on doing.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take the plea, man.
All right. How do you plead to driving a license suspended? You plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute?
I'm gonna stand mute.
You want to have a trial then on both cases?
No, I'm gonna plead guilty. I'm gonna plead guilty on it.
All right. How do you plead to driving a license suspended on October 30th of last year? Guilty, not guilty, or stand mute?
Guilty.
On October 30th, were you driving on South Saginaw Road in the city and county of Midland? Or not Saginaw Road, it doesn't say South Saginaw. Near James Savage Road.
I was, yes.
Was your license suspended on that day?
I believe that it was, yes.
All right. Have I complied with the court rule, had an adequate backspace, Mr. Duke?
Yes, Your Honor.
Agree, Mr. Shawinski?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I find that the plea has been made knowingly, understandingly, voluntarily, and accurately. Will enter records of the court as driving a license suspended. Mr. Duke, allocution on behalf of your client.
Your Honor, notwithstanding the whole situation, I would just ask you to impose fines and costs in this matter. Keith has indicated to me he sold his truck, so he has no longer has a vehicle available to him, and hopefully will help keep him from driving in the future. He isn't engaged fully with community mental health and treating his personal issues that he was referring to as part of his allocution. And further, the other part of it that he didn't explain to you is that he has a very serious infection in his jaw, which requires continuous medical treatment and probably eventually, I'm guessing, surgery to correct the problem. So he is dealing with a number of personal issues at this point in time. So, taking into consideration all the circumstances, we just ask you to impose fines and costs.
All right. Mr. Swinski, there was no restitution in this case.
No restitution.
Any comment regarding sentencing?
No, I'll leave it to the court's discretion. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Shannon, Mr. Duke relayed a bunch of information to me. Was it the information you wanted to make sure that I knew about?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Anything
Your
more you'd
Honor.
like- Yes, Deb.
I'm sorry, I do want to make the court aware that on this file 20-1395, his driver's license is already suspended, which is a $45 fee.
Thank you for letting me know that. Okay. So, anything further you'd like me to know, Mr. Shannon?
I want you to know that I'm sorry. There's not many excuses that I know you're willing to accept or whatever, as far as, if somebody does something they know they're not supposed to, you get punished for it. I'm just asking you to please consider giving me a break on this one, and I'm not going to drive.
Okay. Well, Mr. Shannon, you've got a lot going on for you, and you agree. I agree. You have a long criminal history, but this, in the scheme of things, is a lot less than what you've dealt with before. I can understand your medical situation, and it sounds as if maybe you're addressing your mental health, which, quite honestly, may have cleared up a lot of the other problems. I'm going to believe you that you're doing this. I'm going to use money this time, but this is the third and could have been fourth time for driving a license suspended. I'm all right with people making errors. I just prefer they make different ones each time. So if you keep driving, then you're telling me that money doesn't work and I need to use jail, because my goal is to make sure that you're a law-abiding citizen. So I use whatever means are necessary, and I have three tools: probation, jail, and money. I can't think of any probation terms to put you on to say don't drive. I just can't think of a probation term. If you had a substance abuse issue, we could give you counseling. If you had an anger issue, we could give you counseling. If you were stealing because you didn't have any money, we could coach you on how to get a job. But driving while license suspended, I can't think of any probation terms. So I only have two tools: money and jail. I'm going to use money this time. Next time, probably using jail, just because it may or may not change your mind, but at least when you're in jail, you're not driving. So just realize that that's a potential if you get in trouble again. So the first thing I need to do is also dismiss the case in file 210561. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss that one with the plea in 2013-95. I'm going to send you to $75 crime victim rights fee, $50 state assessment fee, $350 in fines, $350 in court costs. So we got into you for $825. You have 21 days to appeal the sentence, 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney to do that. Please contact my collection staff, Ms. Peters, at 989-832-6709 to make your payment or payment plan. I presume you'll need a payment plan. All right, be adjourned on your case, Mr. Shannon. Thank you.
What was her name?
Peters, Miss Shelley Peters,
Shelley Peters.
832-6709. All right, we'll be adjourned. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. That looks like the last of the morning of your morning docket. Would you
It
agree?
is, Sharon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have Mr. Durant's with us by phone. Mr. Durant's, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so we have Curtis Dell and Michael Kroll that we discuss. Trina, do we have any gentlemen with us?
No, Your Honor, neither is here yet.
Way early, so we're not due till 11:15. So let's go ahead and go off the record.